What's up, guys? Today we're playing Epic 7, and we're going to be talking about getting the most gold for your energy. There is a very subtle change that I thought that they had made, they actually did not make, and now we can utilize the game in its current state to make the most that we possibly can. If your aim is to make more 6-star promotions or to get the most gold, then now we're going to go over how you can utilize that system to do just that. One thing I really love about E7 is the ability to evolve and progress in the game. If you need gear, then you can do hunts, you can eventually work toward a one-shot hunt team, and farm all your stages in about a minute. They've also added in the ability now for us to farm unrecorded history and story modes in about the same amount of time, and really build up a cache of gold, but also to level up our heroes to 6-star, and to now challenge new and different content. In our last video, we talked about the most efficient ways to make gold after that change, and I'll put a link at the end of this video if you haven't checked that out yet. Now, one thing that we noticed was that 2-star monsters no longer drop from unrecorded history, but as you can see here, they still drop in episode 1 through 4 of our story mode, which grants us another really amazing opportunity. This change in the story mode will enable us to even increase the amount of items that we receive and the currency. As you can see from this 30 run, not only are we getting charms and also catalysts, but we're getting more gold than we would normally. We're getting more stigma, and we're also getting drops. So now that we have this gear, we can choose what to do with this to better our account and enable us to move forward. We're also getting these 2-star monster drops that will enable us to get even more currency, and so we're going to look at how we can benefit from this. One thing to note is that unlike Unrecorded History, where you have a variety of shops that are available, the adventure points here can only be used on this map. So it's very important that you need what's on that map shop, or else you waste your adventure points. The very first thing is that we're going to be looking at the equipment that we're able to now sell. So in addition to the equipment that we got, now we have another 208,000, or you'll be able to take that equipment and level up some of your gear. We can also see that if we go to our transmit, each one of those 2-star heroes can now be transmitted. Now, I purposely started with 299. This is something that's relatively new, where the auto battle will not stop when you meet your maximum amount for your heroes or for your gear. If we go ahead and go to transmit, we can see that each one of these is going to give us 80, and we're eligible to get 960 once we do all 15. It's actually a really amazing benefit because now it allows you, not only when you're going through the story mode, to now collect stigma that you can use for other things, but it also allows you to farm if you have time, if this is just sitting on your counter, if you're at work, whatever you're doing, watching TV. Now we have this ability to, when we have time to do it, to farm extra of what we need, including gold, including stigmas. That way that you're eligible to promote even faster than just straight up going into unrecorded history. And looking at the different maps, we can see that some of the rewards also include these 2-star monsters. If we go to different aspects of story mode, it does not matter which one of the episodes you choose or the map, you should see roughly the same amount of rewards. Now, the difference is that some of our catalysts change, and also the level of reward that we change. So the amount of money that you get will vary depending on what map you get and what level items drop. But as you can see again, we have the 2-star rewards. Now, there are some limitations to it. The very first is that it will work anywhere in your actual story mode. Where it does not work is in your side story. So if we go into that time I got reincarnated as a slime, which is super fun to say, these maps do not contain those 2-star drops. We will also see the same thing no matter which one of our side story that we go into. I'm currently doing this A Piece of the Past. I finished that one already just for the catalyst. And as we can see, Still, no 2-star drops. And of course, we already know that that's the case for unrecorded history as well. The goal of this video is to figure out how to be the most efficient with the energy that we have. How can we gain the
Unleash
most
my
benefit for
power.
every energy that we're spending? And to do that, we need to have a
Who will
baseline,
stand
which of
against me?
course is going to be our hunts. Now, the purpose of hunt is to get gear.
Excuse
This is
me.
where we're going in, we're trying
All
to
is
get
done.
upgrades that we can level and improve our heroes. But at the same time, this is or was the most valuable source of gold for
You'll
most
regret
players out there
facing me.
because they can farm it very quickly and also that they can sell
For
their unneeded
victory.
gear. Now, in a
Such a
standard hunt,
weak.
you're going to get about
My
36,954.
power.
If you drop a piece of gear, let's say a heroic piece of gear, you would get 15,315 for selling that piece of gear, which brings us to about 2,613 gold per energy. Of course, with the idea that we're going to get some armor too. Now, in this case, I got a really good piece, and I didn't want to sell it, but for demonstration purposes, this is how much you could sell it for. But don't worry, I am going to keep it. Now let's take a moment to talk about how those results compare to what we did in story mode. We were able to do 30 maps and spend 240 energy, and that gave us 7,319 stigma. We got another 1,040 stigma from those 13 2-star monsters, which brings us to 8,359. If your goal was to build as many 6 stars as possible, you could go into your Forest of Souls, into your Growth Altar, and you can buy about 2 of your Epic Blooms. Now, we need 20 Epic Blooms to 6 star a natural 5-star hero, which means that for every 2,400 energy, you would be able to 6 star a hero. We get approximately 7 to 800 energy per day, which means that every 3 days you could have another 6-star hero. Now, to be conservative, because we can't spend all day playing Epic 7, even though, some of us want to, every 4 to 5 days you should be able to 6-star somebody, no problem, and you're going to have a full arsenal of max out heroes in no time following this method. Now, let's say what you wanted to do was get as much gold as possible. We saw that from our maps, we got 297,000. We also got about 200,000 more from selling that gear, and that brings us to 500,000. If you were to go again into your spirit altar and you were to buy penguins for 102 each, you would get about 81 penguins. Going into where we can sell those penguins now, we would see that for each one of our penguins, we could expect to get 6,000 for the 1-star. We can expect to get 15 or 18,000 for the 2-star, and I think it's 54,000 for the 3-star. This means that we should expect about 875,000 more gold, or about 1.3 million every time you do 30 runs into your higher episodes of your story mode. Now, this is equal to 5,755, and just to flash it up, at a maximum amount, we were able to get 3,168 from doing Hunt and 5,755 from doing our story mode. So you can see much, much better benefit if your goal is to be getting more gold. If your goal is to be making 6-star heroes, then this is really what you have to do. Now, this also takes into account that I have a maxed out Forest of Souls. So your numbers might be a little bit different if you chose to do it a little bit differently than this, but I think that this has the most benefit. And the very last thing I want to stress is to be conscious of where you're farming. In episode 1, it has the worst AP exchange. Do not spend any more time than you have to in episode 1. If you have AP from when you were farming, go ahead and buy out the catalyst that you need and make sure that you're getting all of your stars on every single map because this is going to give you a lot of benefit. These are great rewards, they all add up, and you can do them on every single map, which is amazing. If we go into episode 2, Now our AP exchange is going to be changing a little bit. Now we see Breath of Orbis. This is important because this will help you in your sanctuary to try and max out a little bit more of your buildings. Now, on this level 71 gear, do not buy this stuff. It is awful. It's so outdated. They really need to remove it. Do not spend AP on this. Go in, buy your Breath of Orbis at, your certain intervals, and then anything left, go ahead and buy out your AP. Again, make sure that you're going in and you're doing your stars. This one has 100 Sky Stones and a Mulagora. So good, and you'll be able to start maxing out skills. When we go into episode 3, again, we see really great rewards into our star levels, but now the AP exchange has changed a little bit. We see that we have this trust level. Make sure you're going in and maxing these out. You'll get frames, you'll get backgrounds, you'll get a lot of cool stuff. But now in our AP exchange, we start to see Epic Catalyst. We also start to see level 80 gear. This level 80 gear really isn't that bad, and it can really help you to break into new content in the game. Especially this helmet. This helmet rolls really well, and I'm still using it on my Dark Corvus. It has everything he needs. Really great. Now the difference is that you cannot reforge it, so make sure that it has great equipment score when you're rolling it. As we go through, farm the level that you need to buy things in. Get the level 80 gear, get some epic catalysts, get your other catalysts, and just make sure that you're getting all of your star levels. It's really great. But don't spend a ton of time farming unless you need to have this catalyst. If you're trying to max out the skills of someone who needs this type of catalyst, go ahead and farm it, and you'll get much more benefit than if you had farmed in Unrecorded History. As we go now into episode 4, we see that there are another change. This has the Awakened Aiden, same rewards as episode 3, but now we're going to see a little bit different AP exchange where we can get the Gold Transmit Stone and the Morlagora. Definitely buy these in every one of your maps. Really great benefit. After you buy that, go ahead, same thing with episode 3, try and get some Epic Catalyst. If you want to, you can farm the hearts later. You don't really need to farm them now. I don't save AP for this on purpose, but just know that changing your Aiden, you will have to be able to buy this item as you go through the game. If we go into our now unrecorded history, we're going to see a slight change from those AP exchanges in story mode. And this is actually very important. In Unrecorded History, you can buy any rare or any epic catalyst from the shop, no matter how much AP you have in any one individual stage. And this, I think, is really amazing. I wish that they would do this in the story mode, but, it is what it is. Farm the level that drops a catalyst you need instead. If we go down and scroll just a little bit, let's say with this unicorn horn, we can see that this will drop in level 23. So go in and farm that stage, and this will allow you to then use that AP to buy any catalyst you want in the shop. This does not give as much benefit to story mode because one, this is level 44 gear instead of level 51 gear, but you can also see that those 2-star monster drops are just not available. But now we can get epic catalysts. Our goals in Epic 7 change as we progress in the game, but also change on a day-to-day basis. If your goal is to get gear, to deck out your heroes, to use them in PvP, or to challenge new content, go and do hunts. If your goal is to get the most resources as possible, make more level 60 heroes, and be able to level up their skills, go and do story mode. If it's a buff day and you have AP buff, come in and do unrecorded history. You're going to be doing this much faster, even though you're accepting a little bit less of your resources than something like story mode. Don't be afraid to pick and choose between all three. They all give you benefit. They all do something else. The purpose of this video is how much benefit can we get out of every energy? And that, of course, is going to be in our story mode. If you have time during the week, if you're not doing anything else, and you're just running the game, story mode is going to be for you. You're going to get 82% more resources than on a hunt buff day, even with the increase in gold. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give me a like so other people just like you can find it as well. Until next time, happy hunting and good luck on your battles.